Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of lecture for design of RC structure. Today, the first lecture is on introduction. Herein, we will discuss on the basic pattern of concrete, some basic methods like working stress method and limit state method, and the basic assumption of working stress method, and some preliminary discussion of analysis of RC structure using working stress method. In subsequent lecture, we will also take a venture on the design of RC structure using limit state method. So first question that may come into the mind is, what is concrete? We know that concrete is an intimate mixture of coarse aggregate, which is stone chips, fine aggregate, which is generally a sand, and a binding material, which is generally a cement, and water, which is mixed in a proportionate manner to produce the concrete, which is a plastic-like thing material during green state, but it takes an reaction between the cement and concrete, which is an exothermic reaction, and forms a hardened mass, and eventually it becomes a very hard mass which can take up the load, and the body of this concrete is formed by the aggregates, which increases the strength, and the whole thing is bounded by the binding material, which causes its binding due to reaction with the cement. Now, if in a concrete mass, if I put an external load, it generally fails like this due to tension. As we know, the concrete is very weak in tension. So, to increase the tension taking capacity of the concrete, we used to introduce reinforcement in the form of steel rod. This steel rod, which reinforces the material to enhance its tension taking capacity. So next question that may come into the mind is, why steel material is used as reinforcing thing? So there are some relevant reasons. First one is, thermal expansion coefficient of steel and concrete is comparable. So it does not causes any mutual stress during the change of temperature in different part of the day. When it causes sudden change in temperature, there will be no mutual stress between the steel and concrete within the RC section. Another very much important phenomena is, it increases the ductility of the section. So what is ductility? We may say ductility is a property of the material by virtue of which it fails after showing adequate amount of deformation, or we may say it fails after plastic deformation, and thus it reflects that it is going to fail and we can take the corrective measure. Whereas in other hand, if it fails due to brittle failure, it fails catastrophically without any prior intimation, and which causes huge loss of life and property. Third one is, these two material, concrete and steel, has very good bond between them, which ensures the no slip condition within the RC section. Fourth one is, not the least one, is that steel is economically available in the environment. What is design is our first question to discuss the design phenomena. We have discussed it in a manner, in a headline manner or bullet point, but it may be described like this, that design is an optimization technique considering the most unfavorable load combination that may occur due to operational period, and to produce most economic and safe section. So we have to optimize between the economy and safety. Mind it, we have to also consider the durability of the material or the structure. So it is a optimization technique as a whole. We have two design philosophy in IS code. Number one is working stress method and number two is limit state method. So Herein, in this first lecture, we are emphasizing in working stress method, though the limit state method is eventually become more important and the applicability of this method is more now. Though working stress method is still there in our code and it is in use in some specific type of structure where limit state cannot be beneficially applied. So what is working stress? Stress up to which the section does not undergo any permanent deformation is known as working stress. As we commonly know, the stress strain diagram of material, this is a stress strain diagram of a concrete of a ductile material, but in case of concrete we may see that it is more or less like this. It comes very small elastic zone and it goes like this. So if we see here that there is some permanent deformation where occurs after yield stress, but here in working stress method we will consider the stress within that region where there is no permanent deformation, that is within the elastic zone. So what is limit state? The definition of limit state says that it is the limiting state. Mind it, it is not referring to any stress, but it is referring to a limiting state of which occurs before failure for collapse and serviceability. Here we can refer the clause of the code. Page 67 is the clause 35.1, the general. Here is the definition which is written in the code. The acceptable limit for the safety and serviceability requirement before failure occur is called limit state. So let us say something about the design assumption, which is very important to discuss. The design assumption is the key factors of the design which is to be discussed very carefully. Herein we will refer to the page 80 of IS 456-2000, wherein the working stress method is discussed under Annex B. Annex B 1.3 shows the assumptions, among which the important points are A. Before going to the important points, let us go to the general. In the method based on elastic theory, here it is continuously and clearly written that this method is based on elastic theory. So it is relevant to say here that it does not considers any permanent deformation in the structure. A. At any cross section, plane section before bending remains plane after bending. That we can see here when it goes on bending. If it is a concrete surface or a beam like this, the plane cross section which was plane before bending, it is remaining plane in deformed state itself again. It is remaining plane as a deformed shape again, and it does not causes any permanent deformation or any slip within the cross section, but only a simple rotation is caused. This is the clause where it ensures there is no shear deformation within the cross section. That is, the bending check is done based on pure bending theory. B. All tensile stresses are taken by reinforcement and none by concrete. That is, the tensile stress taking capacity is very less in concrete. The code has allowed us to ignore the tension taking capacity of the concrete. This says that specifically where it is permitted, it will take some amount of tensile stress, although in most of the cases the concrete will not take any tension. That is, we may consider the concrete is fully cracked within the tensile zone. In the side of the neutral axis where it is the tension, it is fully cracked and thus it cannot take any tension or tensile stress, and we may say that working stress method is a cracked method of design. in C, it is completely written that stress-strain relationship of steel and concrete under working load is a straight line. That shows us that concrete and steel maintains the Hooke's law. That is, it is within limit of proportionality, all the stress will be given to the structure when it is analyzed and designed under working stress method. And the modular ratio is assumed as 280 by 3 sigma CBC, though the definition of modular ratio is given in this code in clause 6231, where it is N is equals to ES by EC, the elastic modulus of the steel and elastic modulus of the concrete, and its ratio is modular ratio. This is utilized to convert the steel into equivalent concrete area or to convert the concrete to equivalent steel area while writing the stress equation or force balance equation in working stress method. And here, why it is assumed, it is given in the code, it is assumed in working stress method in this manner because it takes partially the long-term effect like creep, which is a deterioration of elastic modulus of any material under sustained loading. That is known as creep. So here, let us go for the discussion of some design constants which is generally utilized in working stress method of design. So here we can see a cross section of a concrete section where overall depth is D, effective depth is small d, where effective depth is the distance between the compression fiber, extreme compression fiber to the CG up to the CG of the steel which is taking the tension. Here is the strain diagram where the plane cross section before bending is still remaining plane after bending, and we can see here the plane cross section which was plane before bending is still remaining plane after bending, and thus the strain diagram throughout the cross section is straight. Now let us, the strain in the concrete is epsilon C and strain in the section steel is epsilon S, and these are the distances from the neutral axis. Now if we go on calculating the ratio, applying the equal triangle, similar triangle, ES by EC will be equals to N by D minus N. So let us say stress by strain as E, so strain will be equals to stress by E. So now we can write this like this. M, if I put this ES in the top, it will be M into sigma C by sigma S. So nextly it will, if I reciprocate it in both sides, it will be sigma S by M sigma C is equals to D by N minus 1, and if I change the side of 1, it will produce, and if I want to find out the N, it will produce M sigma C by M sigma C plus sigma S into D. Now if N equals to NC, where NC is the critical neutral axis, that is, it is a balanced section, so it will become sigma C will become sigma CBC and sigma S will become sigma ST. So you will see here NC equals to M sigma CBC into M sigma CBC by sigma ST. So this will be the formula. So the relevant question that may come to the mind is, what is balance section? What is balance section? If I want to know, we may go to this stress diagram. So here we can see the section of a concrete RC section where we know the depths. This is overall depth, this is effective depth, this is the breadth, and this is the stress diagram. Here we may see here that we are not drawing the bending stress diagram like this, as we conventionally used to draw in strength of material course. Because the concrete is not taking any stress, we are ignoring the stress taking capacity of the concrete in this zone. So this will look like this, only the steel will take the stress. Now we may say the section as a balance section if the concrete and the steel has reached to its permissible limit at the same instant. The Neutral axis distance in this state is known as critical neutral axis depth. And here we will see it is the most economic section, and designer always prefer to design a section as a balanced section. Why? Because it is most economic section where the material are being utilized most economically. Whereas if it is under reinforced section, we will see the steel is reaching to its permissible limit, whereas the concrete is below its permissible limit. And the neutral axis depth in this state is less than the critical neutral axis depth. A designer always prefer for all practical purposes to design the section as an under-reinforced section, as because we may see the failure of the section will be governed by the steel and not by the concrete. And here you will see, as the steel is a ductile material, the failure will be in ductile manner, and the wanted failure is a ductile failure, and it will give a prior intimation to the user and corrective measure can be taken. Whereas in over-reinforced section, we will see the concrete has reached to its permissible limit before steel, and the depth of the neutral axis is greater than the critical neutral axis. But here the failure is governed by the concrete, which is a brittle material, and this will lead to a catastrophic failure. So this type of failure is never wanted. So we used to avoid to design a section as a over reinforced section. So we have already calculated this n, and when it is balanced, n equals to nc, sigma c will be equals to sigma cbc and sigma s equals to sigma st, because it will reach up to its permissible limit, and nc will be equals to nc, and the formula of nc will be m sigma cbc by m sigma cbc plus sigma st, where this constant is known as k, the neutral axis constant. So we may say nc equals to kd. Let's come to a next part is here, where the total compressive force in this concrete zone is the area of this stress block, which is half base into altitude, so half sigma cbc into nc, and will act at the cg, which is at a distance of nc by 3 from the top. So the distance between compression and the tension will become as d minus nc by 3, because here to here it is d. So if I subtract here nc by 3, it will give the lever arm distance. So if we call it like this, so nc is equals to kd, so it will be 1 minus k by 3 into d, or we may say it as jd. The lever arm is equals to jd, or j is the lever arm constant. Now if I want to find out the moment of resistance, it will be the force in the area into the area, stress into the area into the lever arm distance. So the stress, average stress in the area is sigma cbc plus 0 divided by 2, it will be half sigma cbc into nc into b into j into d. So half sigma cbc into kj into bd square will give you qbd square, where q is the moment of resistance constant. Let us consider our analysis problem. Here we are interested to find out the moment carrying capacity of a beam having a cross section of 250 by 400, reinforced with 3 numbers 16 tor with 50 millimeter effective cover. The grade of concrete is M20, grade of steel is Fe415. Here is the section where if you subtract the effective cover from the overall depth, the effective depth is coming as 350. Solution. Step 1 is design constants. We can have the reference of the code and can find out the sigma cbc corresponding to M20, which is 7 Newton per millimeter square, and sigma st equals to 30 Newton per millimeter square, which is given in table 21 and table 22 of IS 456, page number 81 and 82 respectively. Modular ratio can be calculated as 280 by 3 sigma cbc, which is coming as 13.33. This is also referred in assumption we have shown in the previous slides. Neutral axis constant, we know m sigma cbc by m sigma cbc plus sigma st, just deduced few while before, is coming as 0.288. Position of the critical neutral axis NC is equals to KD and is coming as 100.8 millimeter. Now if we can see, the position of the actual neutral axis can be calculated with the property of the elastic section, as the method is based on elastic theory. So that property is moment of area above the NA or neutral axis equals to moment of area below the neutral axis. If it is the section and is the position of the neutral axis at a depth of n, we may say it like this: B into n, which is the area of the cross section above the neutral axis, and n by 2 is the CG distance, will give the moment of area, is equals to AST is the area of the steel below and d minus n is the distance, and we have multiplied with modular ratio because we are equating concrete with the steel. So we have to convert the area of steel to an equivalent area of concrete. After solving this by putting the value, we have calculated the value of n as 121.276, where we can see n is greater than nc, therefore the section is over reinforced. Thus the concrete will reach up to the permissible stress. So we have calculated the moment of resistance or MR on the basis of concrete, which is the stress half sigma CBC into the area B into N and into lever arm distance D minus N by 3. So putting the value, we are getting the value of the moment of resistance as 32.85 kilonewton meter. Here comes the end of today's lecture. Please feel free to put your suggestion and question in the comment box. Please subscribe and put a like if you have liked this video, and do share the video with your loving ones and your colleagues. With this, we have come to the end. Thanks a lot.